do this quick. It's like slow connection. Anyway, I wanted to come on here because I told you guys that I wanted to share a little bit about the book that I was reading. I'm going to put my glasses over here. Hold on. Okay, so this is the book right here. It's called Reflections of Emma, and it's by Buddy Younggreen. That's what it looks like this. And it has this in the back. Sorry about the blinding. But I wanted to tell you, because I did do a video in the morning. I'm going to put on my glasses, okay, so I can kind of see a little bit. Hold on. So I have these glasses. Hopefully they don't blind you. You know what? I'll turn the light this way. And hopefully that's better. That kind of helps. So I didn't want to give you like inaccurate information. Okay, so this part right here. So it kind of describes Emma and Joseph. Sorry. So it says Emma was a tall, attractive young woman with comely features, dark complexioned, with brown eyes and black hair. I thought it had said that she was like light complected. Well, anyway. And black hair. She possessed a singular, regal beauty of form and of character. She was intelligent, shy, and unworldly, having received strict Christian teachings, but she had formal education. It says Emma was a year and a half older than Joseph, so she was older than him. And it says being 21 when she met him. It says Joseph was 6 feet, 2 inches tall, and he was fair complexioned and nearly 20, so he was 20 years old. He had penetrating blue eyes and light brown hair. Curiously, he combined a boyish shyness with a mannish self-confidence. His rough independence and awkwardness and lack of formal education and kept him from feeling inferior for lack of social experience. He would often say what was on his mind without regard for its appropriateness. Okay, so Joseph's meeting with Emma was providential. In time, Emma would be designated the elect lady of Mormonism, and Joseph would be known as the Mormon prophet. But during that bright spring and summer in 1826, they were just two young people falling in love. They were much like the 19th century land in which they resided, undeveloped, vital, and alive with a great spirit of promise. So Emma was the 7th child of 9 children, and she was born to Isaac Hale and Elizabeth Lewis. She was born on the 10th of July in 1804 in Harmony, in Pennsylvania. She grew to womanhood beside her mother and sisters, becoming skilled in early American culinary arts. And she also was into like herbal medicines. She loved living. Let's see. Okay, it says here. Okay, he had entered the woods by the house. So it talks about how Emma's dad ended up coming to Christ because he heard her praying for him, and so he ended up converting. And then it says Joseph was the fifth child in a family of 11. So there was 11 children in Joseph's family. And it says he had grown up in New York State, and he did a lot of hard physical labor. He learned early about the virtue of work, toiling beside his father and brothers as he they would work in the rocky New England soil. In those early years, Joseph considered himself a Christian, but he did not unite with any organized church. When others of his family attended church services, he stayed home and pondered the scriptures in solitude. He would often say, "I can take my Bible and go into the woods and learn more in 2 hours than you can learn at meeting in 2 years." So it says here, sharing religious experiences undoubtedly drew Emma and Joseph closer together. To her religious background, Joseph brought his own powerful witness of God's actuality and divine purpose. In quiet conversations with Joseph, Emma learned of sacred experiences which far transcended her own. It was not long before her wonder and awe at the tall young man so close to her turned to yearning and love. He was so powerful and strong and tender and kind. Conviction grew in her as she listened to Joseph speak of angels and powers beyond the earth. And conviction and confirmation grew in Joseph as he discovered the deep faith and pure virtue that crowned Emma's sparkling beauty. That spring, in the brightening sunlight by the sleepy, I don't know how to say that word, Emma Hale and Joseph Smith fell deeply and everlasting in love. So Emma's dad, so Isaac Hale, which is Emma's dad, took a rather jaundiced view of his daughter's new admirer, and there was not much about the unlearned young prophet which impressed Mr. Hale. After Joseph had finished his work in harmony, he returned to call upon Emma. At last, Joseph asked Mr. Hale to consent to her marrying him. "This I refused," said Mr. Hale, and gave my reasons for so doing. His reasons were simple, and he founded Joseph's elaborate religious experiences and low financial station very unfavorable. Oh my gosh, my eyes are like, it's the stigmatism. That's why I paused a little bit, because I'm trying to, So he sternly insisted that he would not, under any circumstances, so he was not consenting to his daughter's marriage to Joseph Smith. And so it did say that she ended up eloping. Then we started talking about the sacred record, which I told you that let's see. So on September 22nd of 1827, Emma went with Joseph from the Manchester residence to the Hill Cumorah, a few miles distant. They rode in a carriage borrowed from Joseph Knight Sr. And it says, At the hill, Joseph obtained from the angel Moroni the ancient record from which he later translated the Book of Mormon. It is abundantly clear from Emma's correspondence that she knew that the Book of Mormon was of divine origin and that her husband was God's prophet. As the person closest to the prophet, she was nearest the source and power of the restoration. But there's little to indicate what her emotions were at this time. Surely she shared the excitement and anxiety of the early morning when Joseph left her with the carriage and climbed the hill to meet Moroni and receive the sacred record. Emma's father-in-law, Joseph Smith Sr., recalled that moment in 1834 when he blessed Emma. Thou shalt ever remember the great of God in permitting thee to accompany my son when the angel delivered the record of the Nephites to his care. Indeed, Emma Smith was the first witness of the actuality of the restoration. She was not allowed to see the ancient record of gold, but she was perfectly satisfied that it was the work of God. I forgot to mention the part of where they eloped. It says here, but love found a way, and for Emma and Joseph, the way was elopement. So they eloped. And a secret elopement and a secret wedding. This was difficult for Emma, for notwithstanding her deep desire to marry Joseph, her parents' unwavering disapproval troubled her, and her strict Christian training made elopement seem closer to sin than to the will of God. Later, Emma wrote that she had felt coerced into marriage. She claimed that she had had no intention of marrying when she left home to meet Joseph in South. What is this? Sorry, guys, I'm having a hard time with my eyesight. Bainbridge, New York. I think that's how you say it. However, once there, she had been unable to resist the pressure of the intense young prophet. With guarded modesty, Emma declared preferring to marry him to any other man I knew. So it says, I consented. In stark contrast to the Hales' angry reaction to the marriage, Joseph's family gave their complete approval. That it was that Emma and Joseph went first to live with the Smiths in Manchester, New York, where they were heartily welcomed into an already crowded home. So yeah, that is what I've read so far. I haven't gone to the other pages, but I thought it was interesting. It's a pretty good book, and it has like different pictures and stuff of like, see, I have this picture right here. So I kind of like that it has like pictures for references. Let's see what else. Let me see. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention this part. It talks about President Lee spoke to the writer, to the author of this book, and it says, I had a young man come into my office the other day. He has become involved with the Smith family. He's trying to get the Hiram Smith line, the Joseph Smith line, and the Samuel Smith line to come together in a kind of family reunion, hopefully that we might encourage some fruit no, some kind of better relationship now. Now, because of Buddy's dedicated effort, the descendants of Joseph Smith Sr. regularly meet in a family reunion. And because of this gift for instilling confidence and making friends, Buddy has expertly bridged the gap in a divided family. And he has been the the person that has encouraged estranged cousins to take first steps of reconciliation after years of bitter separation. Foremost in Buddy's mind has been his intense interest in the lives of Joseph and Emma Smith. For many years, he has studied and researched, and he has personally interviewed hundreds of their descendants. His keen desire to portray the love that existed between Emma and Joseph has prompted him to write and produce the play Yesterday and Forever. I've never heard of that play, but supposedly there's a play called Yesterday and Forever. Buddy has successfully shown that Emma was a very genuine person who contributed greatly to the restoration and to the work of her husband. And what else? So it has like all the different people who participated in like putting in like pictures and stuff like that. And so he says that he cares a lot about like the Emma, which is Joseph Smith's wife, because he ended up searching through the years in an attempt to learn more about her. He says, my quest to understand her is based in my outgoing interest to Joseph Smith, which has grown to a continuous search for an examination of voluminous primary and secondary historical sources, coupled with a close association which I enjoy with hundreds of Smith descendants. As in marriage, the man is not without the woman. So is my study of Joseph Smith. I have felt it to be incomplete without an analysis of Emma. The life of Emma Hale Smith is a fascinating one. Emma's suffering from poverty and persecution, her pain at the premature deaths of her husband and many of her children, her devotion to her posterity, and her loneliness at the close of her life. At the close of her life are all significant parts of this woman's history. Yet all this would have little importance to the greater Mormon public were it not for her marriage to the prophet Joseph Smith. Her relationship to him as wife and mother of his children, and her role as a witness of elect lady of Mormonism, has inseparably connected her with the restoration of the gospel. For these reasons alone, Emma's life is worthy of study. So, like, this book is just so amazing. Like, I really, really enjoy reading it. So it also says that she had few interests. There's this part that says, Emma had few interests other than her family. While the prophet Joseph Smith lived, she was, hold on guys. It's my stigmatism it's kind of hard. Sometimes I have to focus on something else. So I'm sorry. Sorry, that's my washer. It's going crazy, and then my dogs are going crazy. Leave it alone. Because it just, I don't know, it's just been acting up. It just has like 4 towels in there. Shouldn't be doing that. My bad. Okay. It says, while the prophet Joseph Smith lived, she was immersed in the issue that confronted him after the Like after they murdered him, she was completely devoted to her posterity and her household. Emma suffered greatly during her marriage to Joseph. What with frequent moves, constant persecution and poverty, numerous infant deaths and lawsuits, she had little privacy and few comforts. While Joseph lived, she came to recognize that he belonged to the church. She must share him and the family's resources. This book points to what I believe are the most important and enduring themes of Emma's life: her sincere quest for religious experience, her possessive love for her husband, her compelling desires to bear children, her constant struggle against oppression, her deep commitment to her husband's divine mission, and her subjection to the ironies of her last years. This volume gives attention to issues that continue to plague Latter-day Saints. Did Emma love Joseph Smith? Did Joseph love Emma? Did Emma, as a wife, support Joseph? Did she support him in his divine calling? Did she have a testimony of the restoration? And why did she not go west? And why did she remarry? How did she die? So there's like a bunch of questions that a lot of people ask. And so that's something that I highlighted from the book that I thought was quite interesting. And so I'm still reading, guys. I think it's a really great book. I just thought I would go ahead and share it. I'm going to go ahead and put it in my book club. I have a group that is just all about books and stuff. I kind of share there what are the books I like and what I'm currently reading. I have a playlist on my YouTube channel that you guys can hear me read certain chapters in certain books. I love reading. I love sharing what I read, and then sometimes I share my thoughts on it. So I will share my thoughts about this book. I think it's an amazing book. I think it's very insightful. I like learning all the little details. I started chuckling at the fact that they eloped, and they got married and they lived with the Suegros, right? So what else? I really like the fact that it talks about her strength as a wife and everything she had to endure while being Joseph's wife. I think it speaks volumes of her character and what she believed in and what she felt was sacred. And she must have loved him enough to, go through everything that they went through. I think that would be so hard to go through. And so I think it's an amazing book. I'm excited to keep reading. I have other books, but I don't know, something called out my name to it just kind of intrigued me. It just kind of called me to start reading this one. And yeah, I will continue to try to share more that I learn. It's not that big of a book, so it shouldn't take me that long. But today I didn't get to read because I did other videos, but I thought I would go ahead and still document it, create a video and share my thoughts and read it little pieces to you. So I have these 2 pages to read to finish that part of the sacred record. And then it goes on to, it says Pennsylvania to Ohio. And then, let me see, what else can I share? The next one is Kirtland years. And then it goes to Missouri to Illinois. I now turn the key to you. The ancient principle. Preludes to parting. It has wedded again. It has declining years. And then it starts going to notebook of interviews. So that's going to be interesting. And there's a lot more pictures here. So see, I don't know if you guys can see that. You can see that it has a lot of pictures. So anyway, I just wanted to share that with you. And apparently there's a card in here. Yeah, this belonged to a sister, so I'm not going to share that here. I will look at it later. But there's like a ton of pictures and stuff. So anyway, check out this book if you guys haven't done so. And if not, keep watching these videos and I will share what I learned from them. Thanks for watching, and I'll go ahead and talk to you guys soon. Bye, guys.